All right, guys, this is another new protocol for me that I got into last week. I cannot tell you how many people have reached out to me about this. I got reached out about ark.fi before the pre-sale happened, and at that point I was just kind of hearing it was a fork of Furio. I didn't really want to get into any other forks at that time, so I kind of let it slide. As time went on, I realized it's not a fork of Furio. They've got their own independent code. It's got like a piece of Furio. It's also got a piece of drip, some new innovative stuff, just kind of all mixed together into a very interesting protocol. So tons of people have been reaching out to me in the DMs and on all the videos that I post, all the comments saying you should look into Ark. It's a great protocol, team's great, all this type of stuff. So eventually I'm like, all right, let me finally take a second look at this because I'm just getting bombarded with requests to cover this protocol. So I got the ball rolling with some research. I jumped on a couple calls with the team. The team is fantastic, by the way. They've really done a good job of building out the separate entities and different departments of their company, if you will. And then those folks are really good at executing on the categories that they're over or they're responsible for. So because of that, really solid relationship, I feel like, so far with the team. Obviously, we're still just getting to know each other. We've only been talking for the last couple of weeks, but I feel pretty confident in their abilities. I do like the way the protocol is set up. They really have looked at some of the flaws of other daily ROI protocols and some of the other platforms that are out there, and they've done a few things to fix those, or at least help them make it more sustainable. So because of that, I decided to get into Ark. If you guys want to check it out, there'll be a link in the description down below, but let me give you a good once over here. Now, here's what I'm going to do with this. Ark is different than a lot of the other protocols. It's actually kind of complicated. If you break it down into individual segments, it's fairly easy, but if I try to explain the entire thing to you right now, I think it'll be too much information for you. So what I'm going to try to focus on for now is going to be a little more of a high level overview. I'm going to show you how to get in if that's something you want to do. And then I'm going to make these videos in a series. So I'll take an even deeper dive next time and then the following time after that. And I'll probably just continue doing weekly videos. This is a daily ROI protocol, but they do have some external revenue sources. I think this one is set up to last quite a while. And because of that, I think it makes sense to, build teams. If you guys want to build teams, you can. In this protocol, they call them syndicates. It makes sense to compound to get your balance up higher. It makes sense to take some profits along the way, which they've designed perfectly. This is a very interesting protocol in that they actually penalize you if all you do is claim, which makes sense. And they sort of penalize you if all you do is compound as well. They've actually put a bunch of metrics in place that make you ROI along in the process. So whether you're taking a 50-50 split, you take profits and then you compound the rest, or 60-40, you can actually change the dials and figure out exactly how you want to play this DApp. So here we go. It's really interesting. I'm going to try to cover the high level stuff and not dive too deep because I'm kind of long-winded anyway, as you guys know, but let's see where this goes. As you can see here, 4.7 million roughly on market cap. Ark Finance is an innovative fintech group focused on creating simplified, decentralized finance products for investors. The ArkFi ecosystem of high-yield applications are designed to be disconnected from the volatility of traditional markets and provide passive income source during times when investors need it most, which is right now. They are coming out with a super cool app. As you can see, this thing keeps saying, ArkFi is for moms, ArkFi is for grandmas, dads, everything. Basically, ArkFi is for everybody. They're trying to simplify the process of getting people into the DeFi space. And what they're doing to help aid that is they're creating a really cool application for the phone. So that's going to launch soon. They do an AMA like every single day. So you get invited to those, so you just go into the Telegram and you can access those. But on the last one, or at least a couple of days ago, they had one and they showed all the details of the app, how it was looking, and it's a pretty phenomenal looking platform. So pretty amazing. Still pretty early on the life of Ark. It's been around for a couple months, but 3,000 users, a little over 3,000. The price is $5.72 per Ark. Now, just to keep it simple here, there are 3 different sections of the protocol. So we'll start with the vault. And this vault is really similar to what you would consider, Drip Network, the faucet, or Furio in their vault, in that that's kind of the daily ROI platform or piece of the protocol. The primary way to earn Ark rewards, Ark Vault is a stable daily ROI DApp built from the ground up based on sustainable mechanics and best practices for passive income generation. and that will earn you up to 2%, but you're really getting less than that because you're only compounding claiming on a certain ratio. And if you claim too much, that will drop down, I think, to 1% and then even all the way down to 0.5%. So it is a variable ROI, and it depends on your behavior, what percentage you're going to get. So that's the first part. That should be pretty easy for people to understand. You're going to put money in, you're going to buy it with BUSD, you're going to buy ARK, you put it in the vault, and then you're getting your percentage daily. You got to get in there and compound. Now, the ARK Foundation is set up more like the drip reservoir. So the ARK Foundation, a medium yield staking protocol that supports ARK swap liquidity by pairing ark.fi and BUSD to create Bond. Bond earns BUSD rewards and qualifies your ARK vault for referral rewards. So really interesting. I like that they use Bond because this is kind of like what bonds do. In a nutshell, in most scenarios, when you're buying bonds, you're basically providing liquidity to whatever entity that needs those funds. And in exchange for that, you get paid out dividends, normally they're like quarterly or twice a year. And then at the end of the bond period, you get to take your initial investment back. So that's how general bonds work. This one in particular, you're just going to swap your BUSD. It's going to create a liquidity pair of ark.fi and BUSD, and that's called Bond. And then it'll earn you about 120% APY is what it's running at right now. So kind of similar to how the reservoir works is if you provide liquidity to the platform, that of course helps stabilize the price floor, increases the liquidity of the project, and in exchange for that, you get an additional percentage. So the way they have it tied in is you've got two different ways to play this. If you utilize the foundation and you stake some of this bond in there and you stake more than 250, then it gives you access to a rewards downline and some of the lottery drawings and stuff that they do. You can also opt, you could do both, but you could also opt in place of the foundation to go with the legacy NFT. Legacy NFTs are going to give you some different things. So it'll allow you to unlock exclusive rewards and supercharge your ARK Vault account. Legacy NFT holders crowdfund ark.fi and receive immediate and future benefits as fractional owners of the ecosystem. So you kind of own a piece of the ecosystem. This is going to give you some DAO votes and stuff like that. So let's go over to the platform and check it out real quick, just so you can see. Okay, so across the top, hopefully my screen doesn't cut that off. But across the top, you've got Home, Buy Crypto, Swap, Vault, Syndicate, Foundation, and Legacy NFTs. So let's go to the NFTs first because it's at the end. I currently don't hold any of these, but I'm strongly thinking about getting this one over here, the silver one. So the silver NFT is $1,000, but it increases your upper limit of the CWR, which is your compound withdrawal ratio, to 2.5. So you're going to earn faster. If you purchase this, you also get access to 3 downline levels. So if you're planning on building a team, a big team, this would be ideal. And it also gives you a DAO vote. So you own a portion of the platform. You of course get those additional benefits. You can build a team. The nice thing about this is once you stake your NFT, buy $1,000 NFT, you stake it in the system. You do actually get that back, but not until the end. So once your account maxes out, max payout of 80,000 tokens, so less than both Furio and Drip, which in itself makes it a little more sustainable, then at the end of that, you can unstake it and get your $1,000 back. So that's kind of nice. If you want to go big, there's 2 other options. The gold option gives you 6% CWR upper limit. It's $4,000. Gives you 9 downlines, 4 DAO votes, which is great, but of course, it's more expensive. And then if you're really looking to build a big team, you can get the platinum NFT, which would give you a CWR of up to 13, which is a lot. So you'd earn a lot faster. You get 15 downline rewards levels, you get 10 DAO votes. And so that's there if you want to drop $10,000 on the platinum one. For me, that's overkill. I think I'll build a team here. I know a lot of you guys are pretty pumped. I've already had a couple people jump on the team just because I was talking about it. And so they asked me for my referral link and jumped in. So that's super cool. People seem to think that this protocol is really promising. And of course I do too. That's obviously why I'm making a video on it and I threw some money in. But I don't think I'm going to build a massive team. So I don't know if 4,000 is worth it to me, but I'm strongly considering just the 3 levels of downline. I'll take a DAO vote, a little bit greater earning opportunity or more speed, I guess, to earn. It looks like 219 people have already picked up one of these. It's almost $250,000 have already been sold in this. Pretty amazing. So anyway, if you want to build a big team, you may just want to go here and get the 1,000. If not, but you still want to be still have access to get any rewards if someone signs up under you, and maybe more importantly, have access to the daily lottery, which could make you $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 maybe, then you definitely want to at least get past this next level. So let's go to the foundation. All right, the foundation's like the reservoir. Let's keep this simple. If you want to deposit money in here and be eligible for everything, you have to deposit, you have to show $250 worth of a bond in USD value. Now there's a 10% in tax and a 10% to out tax, just like the reservoir. So if you're gonna put that in here, you need to put about $280 in USD in here, and that will give you access to your referral reward downline and access to the daily lottery drawings. So you don't have to do this, but to me, the drawing is pretty amazing, and they're giving away a lot of funds. I think the last time they gave it away, it was like $1,500. So if you were to win, and there's not a ton of people in the protocol, right? Especially the ones that have bought this. If you were to win, you could potentially double or triple your position depending on how much you want to put in. So for me so far, I think I'll put just a little over $1,500 in here. I'm probably gonna add a little bit more, but if I were to win that, it would basically double up my position and speed everything up quite a bit. So consider that. Now onto the easy one, the vault. So the vault is where you stake your money. You stake your money here, and then I'm earning the 2%. As you can see up here, my current reward rate is 2% daily. And this is the range that I can stay in. So I wanna make sure that my compound and claim ratio is appropriate, and I can do that over here. When it's time for me to compound my rewards, I can say, hey, I wanna do 65% to 35%. And once I get there, it'll allow me to approve, and it will allocate the rewards that I've earned into the system. So of course, part of it gets claimed, which is great. So I get to work my way to ROI, and then part of it goes back into the system to help me grow my account. So in Drip, you're trying to get all the way up to 27,400 tokens. In Furio, it was 27,777. In Ark, it is 26,666, and it pays out up to 300%, not 365 or 360 like the other protocols. So a little bit less of a payout. Of course, that makes it more sustainable. And again, the entire game theory is set up to where you actually claim and compound along the way. So you're taking some profits as time goes on. And before we move on, I will just say that as far as an aesthetic of the protocol, I really like it because it's simple. I like to see, exactly what my principal balance is, what my max payout, what I've withdrawn, pending deposits, referral rewards. I mean, I just want to see all of that stuff in one screen. With the other protocols, sometimes I get frustrated that you have to go to different applications that community members have made to read certain data and compile it all together. I want to see it on one dashboard. It's like that with basically every other financial protocol out in the traditional world. You can see all your metrics on one screen, or at least on one website. And the fact that that has been done here is really good. And I attribute that to the background that these guys have on the team. The team is full of a bunch of killers, and they've got a ton of experience in the traditional markets, in the traditional finance market, in coding, in team building, everything. You can tell they're well oiled, and they've actually spent some time in corporate America, which is big because if you haven't had that experience, when you come over here to do this, you may have some really good ideas, but the execution just won't be there because you haven't had those reps. So if there's one thing I could say here is the team has definitely had those repetitions. They understand the process. They understand how these things should be rolled out. They understand what it should look like, and they're always driving toward that goal. So I really like that about this protocol. And I'd say the effort that they put in here to make this well-rounded is definitely duly noted. So like the protocol a lot. Let's jump over and talk about the white paper real quick. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the white paper, but I do want to cover a few main bullet points in there. Like I said, this will be video 1 out of a series of videos. So if you already know that you want to get into this one, of course, this is not financial advice, educational purposes only get in with this stuff with risk capital. You guys know the drill. You got to be responsible for your own money. If you want to put your risk capital in here, I'll show you the process to do that. If you don't, you want to sit this one out, that's cool too. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I'm going to read through the white paper and just give you a few key segments that I think that you want to absorb. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to show you how to actually deposit that money. And that'll be the end of the video, because I think if I give you guys too much information and explain every single thing about this, then it's just too confusing. I think you need to know the basic metrics. If you feel pretty good about it, then we'll go through the process of how you actually get into the system. And then in further videos, I'm going to start breaking down strategy and just a lot more details. So let's jump to the white paper, cover a few things, then we'll jump back and I'll show you how to actually get in. Okay, solid white paper. This is their intro. I don't know if we need too much information about that. I already explained that to you. Quick start guide. Got to have your MetaMask set up, of course. We're going to swap BUSD for the ARK token, and then we're going to put that in the system. All ARK tokens go directly to the system. There's no free ARK. I can't just buy ARK and then wait for a price increase and then sell it later or whatever. That's not how it works. All free tokens, all tokens that are purchased go directly into the protocol. So that's something that differs from every other protocol I've seen like this. Your initial deposit, of course, is locked in the system. So once you deposit your ARK, it can only be earned back in the form of rewards at the initial rate of 2% every 24 hours. So allocate rewards. This is perfect. This is what I was just talking about. The ARK Vault is a pay yourself first platform, and a balanced approach to compounding and withdrawing available rewards is encouraged. So they want you to take out a 60-40 or 50-50 ratio. They want a balanced approach at it. So you're paying yourself back as you're building your wallet, which makes more sense because you want sort of a passive income stream. And I think there's going to be an occasion where you get into one of these protocols at the right time and the price flies and all you've done is compound and then you cash out and you make a ton of money. But those are few and far between. And I definitely don't think we're going to see anything like that in a bear market. So this is set up to combat a little bit of that behavior that isn't necessarily good for the ecosystem long term. So I found that as a positive. They've got some good tips and tricks and strategies in here in the videos. And I'll say this, listen, it's a complicated platform. Some of you guys may think, hey, Scott explains things really well. Some of you guys may think Scott doesn't explain things really well. Here's the good news. If you don't like the way I'm explaining it and you want to get onboarded, but you're confused and you need step-by-step help, the team has a member on it. He goes by Coach Brad, and he will actually walk you through it and onboard you. So if you're like, I watched Scott's video, it's too confusing to me, I really want to get in, then you can go directly to Brad. Brad will jump on a voice chat with you or chat back and forth with you and help you actually get set up in the system and answer any questions that you might have. All you'll do when you go to Brad is you'll say, hey, Scott referred me. Or if you need me to connect you with Brad, I could say, hey, Brad, this is my referral. Would you mind helping him get set up? In that scenario, the referral rewards would still go to me and you would get all set up and you'd have additional resources. Now, this is where it gets interesting. For a lot of you guys, you've got a friend or a family member you'd like to get in, but you don't understand the protocols well enough to really explain it to them. And you notice that when you go and try, they seem more confused than when you really started. So they're having a tough time understanding what you're saying. You're having a tough time explaining it to them. And then they don't get into a really great protocol because you didn't have the ability to explain it really well. You're not that far enough down, or maybe you're not just a natural teacher or whatever, like some people have to be able to explain some of these complicated platforms. Well, that is no longer a problem. And I think every team, every project should be doing this. Why not have a team of onboarders, or at least one onboarder that will help people get into the protocol and understand it, and not just leave 100% of it up to YouTube people. Of course, I like that you guys watch my content, but sometimes, even admittedly so, I'm not the best at explaining stuff either. So that's one key difference of this project too that's amazing. So if you get in, you say, hey, I want to build a team, but I don't know how to explain this to my buddy. You can link your buddy up with Brad. Brad will teach him how to enter the protocol, and then you will get the referral rewards. So very cool and well worth your time if that's something you're interested in. Okay, let's get into the details about the vault. It's got a max payout of 300% or 3x of your principal balance, up to 80,000 ark.fi tokens, which is 20% lower than Drip and Furio. To reach that balance, of course, you need to get, like I said, to 26,666 tokens. If you 3x that, you get to 80,000, and that would be your maximum payout. Now, the daily ROI, like I said, is variable. It's up to 2% rewarded daily. Rewards will cease to accrue after 24 hours unless all available rewards are withdrawn, airdropped, or compounded. So every 24 hours, you got to get in here and take an action. Now, if you've got a good amount of capital in there, you can do it more often than that. But after you hit that 24-hour mark, just like in Furio, it stops accruing. Now, the daily ROI is reduced to 1% if the net deposit value becomes negative. So if you're claiming more than you're putting back in, eventually your net deposit value is going to go into negative status. Then it's going to decrease you down to 1% instead of 2%. The daily ROI can also be permanently reduced to 0.5% if the compound withdrawal ratio drops below 0.75. And you'll be able to see that right there on that main dashboard that I showed you. So if this drops down into the red, you could get permanently locked down here at 0.5%, which is not what you want to do. So you want to compound, not all the time. You want to claim in there with it, but you always want to keep yourself in a positive net deposit value. Minimum investment is 10 ark.fi tokens. There's that tax. So when making an initial buy buy at least 11.5 ark.fi tokens to be able to open a vault account. If not, it won't let you do it. So you got to buy enough to where you can actually get in. Maximum investment in deposits is 4,000 ARK tokens. Post-tax deposits and airdrops received, that's like $25,000 or something like that. So for most people, it won't be a factor yet. And moving on to components. The price of the ARK token right now is $5.72. They have something in place called Intelligent Liquidity Controller. Now, some people may think this is an LMS. What an LMS does is it picks a tight range and it keeps you within that range. It's got a pool of tokens, so if it goes up too high, it'll sell some tokens to drive the price down, or if it goes too low, it'll use some funds to buy it up, but it'll keep it in that tight range. That is not what an Intelligent Liquidity Controller does. This doesn't keep the price in that range. It just slows down the price action. So the swings up or down are way less aggressive. It smooths everything out, so it can inch up. This thing could end up being $25. It could also move its way down. So it is not price control. It does not keep it in a range. It just subdues the large swings to the upside or the downside. They've got a lot of other metrics in place. Like I said, I won't cover them all today because it'll be a lot to get through. This breaks down the dashboard, which I'll cover more later. UI actions. This is pretty simple. How you compound a withdrawal. I'll show you that when we put some additional funds in there in just a moment. They throttle rewards. This is important. To receive those daily rewards, of course, you need to be in a net deposit value that is positive. Eventually, in the system, you're going to ROI. Once you ROI, you drop from 2% growth down to 1% growth, so it becomes even more sustainable. But you've already earned all your money, and now you're still earning 1% a day like you would in drip. So nice metric for sustainability, in my opinion. They've got pumped up mechanics. So like I said earlier, if all you do is claim, or you claim too much and your net deposit value goes negative, then you earn less of a percentage. But if all you do is compound, you actually get negatively affected as well. You need to take profits along the way. So unless you hold a legacy NFT, which I don't yet, your compound withdrawal ratio cannot exceed 1.5. If the upper limit is exceeded, so if all you do is compound, your compounds will be suspended until a withdrawal or an airdrop is performed. So the only thing to help you with that, if you want to grow your account faster and just compound, which isn't necessarily better, is to buy yourself a legacy NFT. So the silver, of course, will let you get up to 2.5, the gold up to 6, and then this one up to 13. So you're going to grow way faster, but you could potentially be leaving money on the table. So for me, I like fast growth. I really am strongly considering, like I said, getting the silver one so I can compound it at 2.5, grow my account a little bit faster, but play the long game. And I'm not sure exactly what strategy I'm going to do, but it's probably going to be 60-40. So I'll come back later in the next video and I'll break down a few more of these sections, particularly more about the ARK Foundation and how that works, how you build your syndicate, all that stuff. For now, so it's not too complicated today, let's get you through the process of how to get in. If that's something you're interested in doing. If you want to wait for these subsequent videos, then you can wait for those. If you're like, yes, I've heard about ARK, I like it, the team's solid, and you want to get in, here will be a step-by-step on how to actually purchase the tokens. So you come over here to the main site and go to swap. Now there's an option up here that says buy crypto, and I know they're doing a collaboration with Ultimo. And what that'll do is that'll provide like an on and off ramp for the funds. Ultimo is like a third-party service where you can get the credit card, you've got an offshore bank account and everything. Super slick system. It's definitely what I would get if I wasn't using Spritz so much right now, but I might get it as a backup option. So anyway, super killer platform, and they partnered with them, and so very soon you're going to be able to have an on and off ramp on here. You can bring funds in and out of that. But if you're ready to swap, you just need BUSD. So your BUSD is here. Right now I've got about $279 in there. Our price is down to 571, right? It was up at 572. It's just going to slowly eke its way up or down. Again, the price movements will be subdued because of the intelligent liquidity control thing they have in place. So let's do it. When you get in, you'll put your referrer here. I got referred by my buddy, so I put his referral code in there. That, of course, is just a wallet address. I think if you click directly on the link, it takes you there. But just in case you want to know what goes there, it may ask you for one. It may require one for you to get in. I honestly don't know. But join my team, anybody else's team. There's a bunch of good YouTubers covering this, so don't worry about that. But here's how you get in. I've got 279 here in BUSD. I want to buy for the vault. So I'm going to put in 250, let's say. That's going to give me 37.98 ARK. And then I'm going to click buy and accept that on the ledger. Looks like it took my funds and then it put the ARK directly into my vault. And that of course will show up here where I show deposit. New deposits do not change your 24-hour countdown timer, so it doesn't reset it when you do a new deposit. So at some point in the next 8 hours before I go to bed tonight, I need to come in here and decide how I want to allocate these funds. And it's just going to allow me to move the dials and pick whatever I want. This is going to be my estimated CWR. Of course, I'm trying to keep it in the middle of this range to continue to earn my 2%. You also have the option of when you take your profits, you can put it directly into the foundation, which is just buying you more bonds and then earning you more money. You're providing more liquidity. And like I said, that percentage rate as of today is about 120% APR. So really solid. Every year, getting a little bit more than double your money. And it's just the safer route to go, if you will. So that is how do you get into the system. I'll do more videos on after your money's in, how exactly you want to compound, what your strategy should be, and some of the metrics around that. Again, if you want to be eligible to sign people up on your team and get anything, you need either buy bond or one of the NFTs. Let's go over to the foundation and buy some bond real quick. So I only have $29.42 left, so why don't we just stuff all that in there. So let's go max and let's go deposit and accept it on the ledger, and it looks like it left me $1.48 in BUSD. I got the rest. This increased and it took my available rewards. Oh, that's what it did. It took my rewards that I had earned and put it in my wallet, and the rest of it bought bond. So now I'm up to 344. So I could just keep building this and then withdraw the available rewards every day, which is kind of what I'm doing with the Furio pool and Furio. I'm just providing all the liquidity over into the Furio pool, and then it pays me out in USDC every day. This would pay me out in BUSD every day. So I could technically build this up and just get a fat stack here and then withdraw my rewards every day from here as well. So again, in order to get access to the downline and then be eligible for these lotteries, and they give away a ton of ARK tokens and deposit it into your vault. Like I said, it could be $1,500 tonight, and you just getting in with a minimum deposit and qualifying yourself by having $250 here in bond, then you're able to win that. And it happens every single night. They just drew the drawing of all the eligible wallets, and a lot of people are winning. And a lot of people are winning twice. I think they've had 5 two-time winners. So that could be pretty big. Anyway, that's how to get in. I'm going to give you a lot more details on this protocol. I know there's some big YouTubers covering this, and they feel pretty strongly about it too. I think we could build some momentum here and really grow this into a massive protocol. These guys are definitely set up to last a long time. I know they've got some external revenue sources. One of them was they've got some traditional hedge fund yields. I know they're doing zero cost energy crypto mining. They've got that mobile app coming out soon, the on-ramp, off-ramp. The team is really dialed in. It took a long time to build the right team out so that every entity knows what they're doing and handles everything in their category. And they're doing it fairly flawlessly so far. So that's my initial episode 1 on ark.fi. I will do another one maybe later this week because there's a lot more stuff that I want to cover just to make sure that you guys get all the game theory. But that's how you get in, get started, compound, just start to build yourself up in the ecosystem. And there's just so much more that's going to get released soon. So if you're interested and you want to join my team, there will be a link below. If not, go to YouTube, find a content creator that you like and use their link. Hopefully this gave you a good once over of how to get in. Again, the system is kind of complicated, so I'm just going to keep rolling this out in different segments so it's easier for you guys to understand. Please let me know if you have any questions, and remember, the legacy NFTs just help you earn faster and give you additional referral downlines. The foundation works very much like the reservoir or the Furio pool, and the vault works very much like the drip faucet. So if you understand those other protocols and exactly how they work, this is very similar, just a different UI and some different metrics. Leave comments down below if you have any questions. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Happy investing, and let's get this crypto.